Hi, I'm Alex, and this is a fresh experience. It's the middle of summer, and if you haven't done so already, it's time to fire up those grills. We're here today at Covered Bridge Health Campus in Seymour, Indiana with Chef Robert, who's going to show us how to make ribs using a variety of spices available through Piazza's finest. Well, Chef, thanks for having us here today.
Well, thank you, Alex. Good morning.
What do you got for us?
Well, today we're actually going to use some barbecue ribs, and we've got some pork ribs right now. They're ready to go. I've got all of my Piazza spices right here, and we'll throw some of those together. We're actually going to start out with a dry rub. First thing we want to do is you start out with brown sugar, and we have 1 cup of packed brown sugar. See, it's packed so hard. There we are. And paprika is our next biggest ingredient base. I like to use Hungarian paprika. It is sweeter than the Spanish paprika. We've got some black pepper right here. Now, what's great about this is a very, very easy recipe. These are equal portions. We got 1 cup of the brown sugar, a ½ cup of the paprika, and then we've got 2 tablespoons each of onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, cumin, chili powder, and dried mustard. Now, if you don't like that heat, don't put all that chili powder in there. So we're going to hold back some of that, because we can always put it in, but we can't take it out, can we? All right, so we just mix this up. We can use this for your hands. Go ahead, get your hands right in there. Very good.
Is it better to do your hands or the...
Well, your hands can get in there and break up anything.
What?
There you are.
I'm not afraid to get dirty.
Now right here we've got pork ribs. I love to use meat on the bone, because as it cooks or sears in your barbecue, it really, really develops a great taste.
Is that good, or should I do some more?
That's wonderful. And we just start rubbing it right in.
Should I do this one, or
Sure, that one's for you. So as we sprinkle it on very nicely, and we are done. Now those are ready to go right on the grill. Again, as I said, the grill has been preheated. We're just going to throw this right on. You sear it on both sides, and when you're done with that, then we turn it down a little bit, and now we just slow cook it. Okay, so now while the ribs are on the barbecue grill, we're going to make our sauce. I love making a homemade barbecue sauce. There's some great labels out there, but nothing beats homemade, because you can put your own spin on it. Okay, again, we start out with brown sugar. Right here we have 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups of ketchup, then 2 cups of, again, apple cider vinegar. Now what we're doing here is we're sharing flavors. So we've got the same basic flavors that are going on the dry rub. We're going to actually transfer back over to here, okay? We had a lot of that dry rub left over. Put that all up in here. We stir that together. All right, and this is where you get to make it your signature. We are going to put this on a slow stove, or on a low temperature. So after you start to cook it down a little bit, it does develop that rich color. It's a little thicker, as you can see. I'd like you to taste this barbecue sauce right over here. See what you think. Is there a little bit of heat? There's a little bit of heat to it, but what's really nice...
It's not too hot, though. It's
not too bad. What's going to be great about this is when we put this on our ribs, that taste of the fats and the caramelization that's going on with the pork ribs right now is really going to bring the rich flavors out, and it'll tone down that heat just a little bit.
That's good.
All right, we're about ready to check our ribs. Yes. Okay, so Alex, here we have already flipped our ribs. As you can see here, we've got a nice char mark, and then the meat itself, all that extra meat has started to come up. So we're going to let this go ahead and just, I'm going to cut this down a little bit, and then we're going to let that stay there for up to an hour. Well, Alex, here we have kept it going about an hour, as I said earlier. And as you can see here, we've got a nice dark color. And then as you can see here, the bone is pulled away from the meat. It does have that dry look about it, and that's what the dry rub is designed to create. It's supposed to pull out that moisture, but then also kind of replace it with this wonderful taste that we created in the bowl earlier. Okay, now the time is to start putting your barbecue sauce on. And what we do is we just baste it, or we paint it on. Okay, that's pretty good. Very nice. Okay, so Alex, now that we've used the barbecue sauce for basting our ribs on the grill, and they look wonderful, we're going to eat those in just a minute. A good many people, your guests, are going to want to dip a little bit of that meat. They pull off the meat off the bone, and they're going to want a little bit of dipping sauce. This right here is just a little thick for that, as I said earlier. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and choose one of these items, and we're going to thin it down. You can choose the Coca-Cola, the bourbon, one of these 3 beers, or even coffee if you'd like.
I think I'm just gonna go with the bourbon.
There we go. Okay. So we just go ahead and open that up.
Okay.
And pour that in. Don't be shy.
More?
Sure. It's your party.
It's a party.
So now we're making Alex's signature bourbon barbecue sauce. When your guests sit down, you have their own sauce for them. Okay, and that's it. Are we ready to go eat and try
We
this?
are, yes.
Okay, well, great thing about ribs is you don't sit too high on ceremony. Just go ahead and reach in there and cut off some rib or grab. So as you can see right in here, the bone should just tear. As you can see, the bone just tears right away from the meat, and then you can just go right in for a bite. Look at this. Okay?
That's good stuff.
And you want to use your fingers. It's a little bit sticky, so it makes the finger looking good.
Dip it
And
into
then
Alex's barbecue sauce.
Dip it into the bourbon sauce. Take a little bit of a bite.
Well, Chef, thanks for having us here today. Those ribs were amazing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now, like the spices, every other item that you get from Piazza's Finest is a hit, just like this. That's Piazza's Finest. Thanks for joining us again. It's been another great episode of A Fresh Experience.